The Navarro cartel has been made aware that you intend to start producing heroin again. They have instructed us to warn you.
Ozark wrapped up its gripping story with Season 4, leaving fans with a mix of satisfaction and a desire for more. The show, which started in 2017, gained praise for its dark portrayal of a family caught up in money laundering and criminal dealings, with its intense storytelling and amazing performances. The final season did not disappoint, tying up key plot lines, including the Byrde family's fate and their dealings with the Navarro cartel. Marty and Wendy Byrde faced huge obstacles, from the FBI to the brutal cartel, but they made it through. Even though the ending felt like a natural conclusion, the show's popularity has sparked talk of a potential Season 5. So, could we see more? Let's take a look at everything we know about Ozark Season 5 and whether it will happen. In Ozark's final episode, Wendy and Marty managed to secure funding for the Byrde Family Foundation, making them politically untouchable. However, tragedy was still on the horizon. Camila Elizondo, learning that Ruth killed her son Javi, takes matters into her own hands and kills Ruth, with the Byrdes looking on. Camila also eliminates Omar Navarro, and Jonah takes out private investigator Mel Saddam. The Byrdes help a new ruthless crime lord rise to power, ultimately revealing themselves as the true villains of the story. Despite the final season's conclusive feel, the show's immense popularity has sparked discussions about the possibility of more episodes. Fans continue to speculate, showing just how much Ozark has impacted its audience. The series finale sets the Byrde family up with their foundation, leaving room for a potential new season that could explore their future. With new threats and challenges, the Byrdes could face even more complex situations. Showrunner Chris Mundy shared his vision for the Byrdes in 5 years, hinting at their potential involvement in national politics. This shift opens up exciting possibilities for a future storyline, suggesting the Byrdes might use their criminal experience to navigate the political world, creating fresh challenges and moral dilemmas. While Ozark was initially designed as a 4-season arc, with the creators stating they had told the full story they intended, Mundy's comments reveal that there could be more to explore if the show continues. He emphasized that the team wanted to complete the story without stretching it just for the sake of keeping it going. Even so, the Byrde's future and the political dimension add layers of intrigue, leaving fans wondering what could come next. In a recent interview with Variety, Ozark star Jason Bateman discussed the possibility of a Season 5 or even a movie, expressing openness to the idea. Bateman, who also served as an executive producer, reflected on the positive work environment and how much he enjoyed working with the cast and crew. He said, "Any job or work environment that was positive and where you loved the people you were working with and you loved the product you were creating, you'd love to return to it. It's hard to maintain something that is really pleasurable all the time, and we had that with Ozark. So I do it again in a second because what we had just doesn't happen often." While the series finale wrapped up the Byrde family story and freed them from their cartel ties, there are still loose ends, like Jonah shooting Mel, which could lead to future trouble for the family. Although most of the major plot points were resolved, there's still potential for more stories, particularly if new characters were introduced to keep the narrative going. However, while the idea of a continuation is appealing to many fans, Ozark ended on a strong note, something not all shows achieve. A Season 5, or movie, could explore the Byrdes further, but there's also the risk that it might not live up to expectations and could tarnish the show's reputation. Netflix has already discussed the possibility of an Ozark spinoff, but for now, it remains unclear what the future holds. Based on Bateman's comments, though, it's clear that we may not have seen the last of the Byrdes just yet. It seems like critics were a bit slow to fully grasp what Ozark was aiming for. The first 2 seasons had decent, but not spectacular Rotten Tomatoes scores of 70 and 76%, but then Season 3 blew up with a near-perfect 98% approval rating. Season 4 saw a drop to 85%, though it still kept its certified fresh status. The audience score was lower at 70%, with many fans feeling the final season didn't quite live up to the intensity and believability of the earlier seasons. Despite that, most critics were very positive about the finale, praising the performances and storyline. Some negative reviews, however, came from critics who weren't big fans of the show in the first place. For example, THR's Daniel Feinberg criticized the second season, found the third average, and in his review of the final season, he expressed frustration, saying he was annoyed and rolling my eyes while wondering if the show would pull off anything truly surprising. On the flip side, critics who loved the show stuck with it to the end. Nick Hilton from The Independent called the finale unbearably tense, obliquely poignant, and some of the best event TV we've seen on any streaming service. Meanwhile, Lou Timus from Empire praised the show's ability to wrap things up in a satisfying way, comparing it to Breaking Bad as one of the best small-screen drug dramas. A spin-off focusing on an adult Jonah Byrde could be an exciting direction for the Ozark universe. Jonah, played by Skylar Garner, had a rather complex character arc throughout the series, which left plenty of room for exploration. While the show centered on Marty and Wendy's criminal dealings and their efforts to balance family life with their dark enterprises, Jonah's journey was quietly brewing in the background, making him a prime candidate for a spin-off. Rewatching the series, especially after some time has passed, makes you realize how many subtle moments pointed toward Jonah potentially stepping into the criminal spotlight. In Season 1, Episode 4, towards the end, there's a scene that almost foreshadows Jonah's future in the game. When he's exposed to the world of money laundering and its consequences, there's a sense that he's absorbing it all, taking it in like a sponge, and possibly even preparing to take over the business if things went south for his parents. That moment in the series gave off the vibe that Jonah wasn't just the innocent kid caught in his parents' mess. He was slowly being molded into someone who might one day be capable of running things himself. Jonah's character had a mix of intelligence, recklessness, and emotional scars that made him more than just a supporting figure. Over time, we saw his relationship with his parents become strained as he rebelled against their choices and the criminal life they led. But despite all the friction, Jonah showed signs of understanding the financial world his parents operated in, even excelling in some aspects of it. By the end of Ozark, Jonah had gone through significant emotional trauma, and his final act of killing Mel Saddam added a dark layer to his character that could easily set the stage for an intriguing spin-off. A show centered around Jonah's adulthood could explore his attempts to break free from his family's legacy, or, conversely, how he becomes more entrenched in the criminal world as he grows older. With his sharp mind and the weight of his family's criminal past on his shoulders, Jonah's path could be full of moral dilemmas, power struggles, and psychological tension. However, given how Ozark wrapped up, it's unlikely we'll get to see this spin-off. The series was designed to tell a complete story, and while the idea of a Jonah-centric continuation is tempting, it feels like the showrunners have moved on from the Byrde family's narrative. Still, it's fun to imagine the possibilities, even if it's just in the realm of what if. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below.